Hey everybody, welcome back to Ideally Though.
Ideally, though.
I'm your host Erica, and with me is my hubby, my bestie, my butterbeer squad.
Here. What up out there, YouTube and audio listeners?
What's going on? How's your week been?
Incredibly busy,
Yeah,
but fun. I could say that. A lot of work has been done on my end. It's been a lot of work shit. Not a lot pod stuff, but
hmm
like my other job. And it's been moving pretty nicely. A little frustrating here and there.
yeah,
You've heard me rant about a few people.
yeah.
But other than that, week's been all right. I can't really complain. I can't really complain.
Well, this was the first week of school starting back.
Yeah, it's also like gonna be the hottest month of the fucking year.
Do you think so?
I believe so, cause it's just normally August is terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean with heat,
There's been a little wind though, so I'm hoping that
by the
cuts
grace of
it.
God.
That it cuts it a little bit.
True, there is
Yeah.
that. There is that. But you're right. Um, I'm happy the kids are gone. I have found myself missing them. That's one thing.
First couple of days of school, yes. I'm
Yes.
like, oh my god, my baby's like, but then I'm like, get to like work out, sleep a
Yeah.
little bit
Yeah,
longer,
yeah.
save on the power.
I'm more or
Sheesh.
less like it's abnormally quiet. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I don't hear at least our son making noise,
Yeah.
and that can throw me off a bit. Where I'm like, I should check on the kids, and then forgetting that they're not here and they're at school. It's like, oh yeah, oh okay, I
I feel
got
like by next week I'm gonna be like, yes, back to what I'm used to.
it.
Back to what I'm used to,
Is that
the
what it takes
quiet.
to get back on schedule for that type of stuff?
For me, yeah, because I'm like, okay, are they okay? Like, do they like their teachers? Are they settling in? Because I know how I was in elementary. I was just like so I was the scared kid kind of,
Okay.
and it was kind of hard for me to make friends. So I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm hoping everything works. So after usually the second week, I feel like I'm gonna be like, okay, they're good, they got it.
That's fair. I was okay with being alone most of those days when it was like the first like days of school or whatever, the
Mhm.
first couple of weeks. I was okay with it. Mostly because I was alone most of the time anyway. Uh but after a while that could get waning. But talking to like our youngest seemed like he had a good time.
Yeah,
So I mean at least for his first day. So we'll see how the rest of these next few weeks go.
I'm excited. I'm ready for it to cool down. I'm ready to get back into my routine of the gym and getting up early because
Yeah,
I've been going to sleep late.
I think I've been busting my ass like real hard this summer, especially with work stuff. That once this stuff has been settled and the dust can settle, I think it's going to be a very nice fall into winter type of season for us,
hmm
but for me in particular for sure.
And we have vacation next week, or not next week, next month.
Next month,
So
I'm so God, do I fucking need it? But
yes,
yes, yes, I'm excited about
hitting those Rocky Mountains.
that. I'm looking forward to Ghosty Ghouls. Ghosty Ghouls. Yes, that's what I'm looking forward
I'm excited for our first vacation after almost a decade by ourselves.
yeah,
Yeah, what were we
yeah.
thinking?
Kids.
It
We
took
were
us so
thinking
long.
infrastructure. It takes a while to build infrastructure. We can learn that from government.
Yeah, I'm like, dang, we could have been vacationing by ourselves. So now it's like at least 3 vacations a year kind of works for me. You'll probably have a little bit more because of work,
Work, yeah.
but I
Do I
figure
consider those vacations?
I feel like yeah, because you guys be bullshitting after work, like
I
bar
did get,
hopping and all
yeah,
that.
the bar hops and the bar crawls,
Yeah.
private
So
jet flying and shit. That's kind of cool.
yeah, so like it's our family trip. It's your trip, and
Yeah,
then it's like our alone ones in a sense. So like
yeah,
if you have your work, or if I'm going with my sister
yeah, yeah,
vacationing. So at least
yeah.
for me 3 times. I feel like for you at least five.
It's gonna
It's
be a
probably
lot.
gonna be
It's
like
gonna be a
five.
lot more, which is fun.
Yeah,
And I'm not one to have had traveled a lot.
yeah.
Mostly only experienced through like research and things. So this is it's nice to get back to get into this rhythm now. So
Mhm.
uh, I guess that's what I am looking forward to. Hopefully this summer blows by pretty quickly in regards to temperature. I love the summer. Can't say I don't. Birthdays, me and the
Mm,
boys, we're doing our thing this month. But like, I love the summer, being a summer baby and all. But I am very much looking forward to fall and winter coming.
I think I also want to tell everyone that happy birthday to my hubby, my bestie, my butter biscuit. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
it is his birthday. So say
Thank
happy
you.
birthday. If y'all want to throw me a couple dollars,
I appreciknow it. Thank you.
Um, do you want to tell the baby girls what we're gonna talk about?
We got some trending topics today.
We always do trendy
Of
topics.
course, things are on the internet that's been coming on in your timeline or ours.
Hmm.
Just things that have sparked our interest that have been trending for us.
I like to write mine down like like Ricky Lake
I love your
or
cue cards, yo. That's so good.
Jesse Raphael, so I can make sure that I don't forget anything. So we have a couple.
Okay.
The first thing was the three dancers that sued Lizzo for like sexual harassment, fat shaming.
Yeah.
I was like, it was kind of a little bit of like some
Okay.
Schadenfreude.
Yes,
Yeah, it was like, yeah, always those ones, the body positive people,
That's
and
great.
I'm big and beautiful, and then you're telling your dancers, people fire dancers for gaining weight,
Hmm.
and then like looking at a dancer in her eye,
Yeah,
meaning
yeah.
like you bitch.
Right.
There was a dancer that claimed that Lizzo told her to touch a nude performer at an Amsterdam club.
Red light district type shit, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's, I think, where the sexual harassment comes into play.
Yeah.
One of the dancers said that she balled up her fist and was like, "Oh, you lucky, you lucky." Like when she said she was gonna quit, she was like, "It's not good for my mental." She's
Uh,
feeling abused. She was like, "Oh, you lucky," and they had to hold her back.
Interesting.
I'm like, what do you think about this? Do you believe it? I believe it. I
All
believe
right,
it.
I have a really bad joke that I want to say, but I'm not going to do that on the pod. But I'm going to tell you off air what I want to say. But most of those types of people are supposed to be jolly, correct? Santa types of jolly. She doesn't seem like she's fitting that stereotype.
Yeah, she gives a diva like. She definitely gives
Yeah,
diva, and I'm like,
definitely.
how dare you be fat shaming somebody?
Yeah.
You got your
Now, is it
nerves.
the opposite fat shaming, like for losing weight or for gaining weight?
It's gaining.
Oh, that's interesting.
Exactly. I kind of could get it if she was like, well, you're getting too skinny. I like the big back up dancers. Y'all got to compliment me. But it
Yeah,
was like I was like, what?
maybe because that's part of the brand per se. You know what I mean? But like, still, yeah, that's some nastiness though, because now we're getting the chance to see like your real side, if it's true. This is all alleged, right?
Yeah, but you know what makes me believe it?
Mm.
There is a woman who was kind of hired to be a filmmaker for her documentary on tour,
Oh, interesting.
and she quit. And she was like, "Yeah, this is everything that was going on." She was very
So
abusive.
this is third party outside of
Yeah,
her actual camp itself.
yeah.
Oh,
So that's why I
interesting.
was like, "Oh, if anything, okay, f the dancers if we didn't believe it." But there's another person saying, "Hey, I'm speaking up."
Yeah,
I didn't want to make it a big deal. I just kind of stepped away and said I'm not doing it. But she was very unprofessional, very mean.
yeah. She did have a statement that came out, correct, or something like
Yeah, she
that.
did have a statement. She's like, I usually don't talk about things that are false, and I didn't even finish reading
Okay, what's interesting is I hate. Okay, so I hate celebrity like statements like that where they're like, I normally don't talk about this stuff. Then don't talk about it then,
it.
like
Yeah,
you normally would. You're saving face, like clearly. You know what I'm saying?
it's nasty.
It feels like you're trying to save face, so that gives some a little bit at least of speculative validity. I guess I could say, right? It's speculative, of course, but like to a degree, you're giving it some validity because you're answering for these like crimes, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
If it was me, I would stay quiet.
Mm,
I would stay quiet. I'd be
mm-hmm.
like, we can go to court, and I'll be quiet about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because the ones who tend to be quiet usually seem like,
I
okay,
got nothing to hide.
yeah,
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
yeah, yeah. That is very true. It's interesting to see this come out. I believe there was also her some other type of coordinator or some type of religious like figure inside of her group that's like super duper uber religious and was like kind of enforcing that on individuals within the group, and she's also a part of the sexual harassment suit as well, tied to Lizzo.
Is it kind of like CB4 how like Dad Mike had the one like black guy who was like the spiritual advisor
No,
like
I don't.
that?
I don't know if that's her spiritual advisor in particular, but it's like someone who is higher than her dancers. So I guess like, in that
Choreographer? I don't
tier,
know. Okay.
but like it's like her friend, one of her close
Mm.
friends, and she is very much like super uber religious and very much like enforcing it, but like uber sexual too, which I guess tends to be the stereotype for like most people who are kind of religious because you're like kind of sheltered in that way. But like she's kind of like been the type to enforce things and like push and poke and prod and make people feel bad and things of that nature too. So it seems like this stuff is very ugly.
There was a woman that spoke out. She was so pretty, and she was saying how she was working for Lizzo,
Mm-hmm.
and I think her boyfriend was too, or
Mm-hmm.
he was around, and she was just so mean to the girl, and she kind of pushed it off. She would like try to have conversation with Lizzo, and Lizzo would be like, and anyways, and
Mm.
then come to find out she was messing with her dude. Yeah,
Ew.
like she saw text messages and stuff and pictures.
Okay, humans are human. I can grant that. Like celebrities, I'm always one to agree on the side of we shouldn't celebrate celebrities. We should
Yeah.
celebrate like science and engineers and those people to like move us
Mhm.
forward. But like that aside, they're human and she can do that type of shit. But don't portray
Yeah,
this
stop
type of
portraying like,
facade.
yeah, like every time somebody says something, it's like body shaming.
Yeah,
And, and you're like, I'm this body conscious,
yeah,
positive person,
yeah.
and then we're hearing you fat shaming. That's
The fat people,
yeah.
which is weird. Like,
I don't say fat people, but
well, yeah, okay, excuse me, but yes,
someone a
right?
little overweight or got a little bit more meat on their body. You know, I'm like, oh, isn't this the pot calling the kettle black? Like, and
Yeah,
one of the girls she dealt with like she had an eating disorder and dealt with mental stuff, and she had to kind of disclose that to her to get her off of her back.
yeah, exactly.
And I was like, that sucks. Like, I shouldn't have to tell you guys
It
this.
seems as if there's not like a real representative that represents like her employees in her camp.
Where HR at?
Yeah, and anybody who is in that, whoever could, whatever record labels or whatever they do in that side, if there's an
Mm-hmm.
HR representative that's inside or internal,
Mm-hmm.
needs to be there to like handle a bunch of this type of stuff to keep a lot of that stuff in line, because that's terrible when your brand suddenly tanks because of this type of stuff coming out.
We'll see.
I mean, I did read a few reports that said her streams are taking major hits. And for it to be said, for someone like Lizzo, who we know streams on the daily, has got to be in the millions, right? That
Probably.
means something. You know what I'm saying? That
Yep.
means something. That means the audience is not fucking with
There's too many reports about people feeling like they're being abused
you.
and
Mm-hmm.
harassed. They need more protection on the back end.
Definitely.
Dancers, the celebrity, everybody.
There
Because,
should be a union of some
yeah,
sort or something like that that could help out with a lot of that type of stuff too.
it seems like they love to sweep things under a rug.
Oh, definitely.
Here's my NDA. You can't say stuff, but
I feel like that's entertainment in general,
yeah,
right?
always has been.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we see that with the Harvey Weinstein stuff.
yeah, gross.
Yeah, may he rest in shit.
Okay, the next thing I want to talk about, and you kind of researched this a little bit more, was there's potentially a serial killer in Chicago.
Okay, yeah, so this is wild, but there's been a number of, I want to say the number is either
It
16
is.
or so of bodies found in Chicago. Like,
Yeah.
and they are suspecting out there that it is a serial killer on the loose.
There is a former CIA and FBI agent that says there's so many patterns
Yeah,
that would link it to being a new serial killer.
yeah.
There are 10 men and 6 women they found in the Chicago
Oh,
River and
interesting.
the Lake Michigan.
Because when I read in the beginning, and I haven't really followed too far into it, but I thought it was interesting enough to bring up that like it was mostly men. So like
Yeah,
when them being fairly, all of them technically being this fairly in the same
yeah,
age range too, early 20s.
yeah. They actually, this has been since last year. They pulled the first body
Whoa,
back in March of last
yikes.
year, and the latest one was, I think, on my birthday.
Ew.
Yeah, there was the last one was a guy, I believe, on my birthday.
It's scary to think
Yeah,
that that kind of person is out there
if it is,
in the
but
world.
I mean, they have some footage that they have on like street cams of a couple people looking like they're just walking towards
CCTV.
the river, like the river, and then not coming back. And then a lot of it's like when it comes to the cause of death, it says pending unidentified. Some say drowning, and so I can see someone saying this could potentially be a serial killer. And I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure, like all the years we've seen when serial killers first started, it was like, no, this doesn't fit patterns. Patterns change, boo boo. They
yeah.
change.
Patterns do change, and I don't want to go too morbid on it, right, and make this pod too sad, but like you also learn from observation on how to be better from things. And there's so many Netflix docs out there now. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
I'm ready.
I'd imagine that it's harder to catch certain people now. You know what I mean?
All I'm saying, put me in the game, coach. I'm an internet sleuth. Who I need to save? I'm trying to be on that commission saying, Eric, they found the serial killer. I'm here for it.
I hate that you made that into a thing for yourself. The second you were like, sleuth, I like that. It's
I'm a
just become
detective.
you.
I'm a detective. So, Chicago PD, if you need someone, give me my cup of coffee, give me my rookie, give me my car.
It very much gives. You're such a dork. It very much gives Night Stalkery vibes, very much
Yeah.
Dahmery vibes. Like, yeah, and throughout the craze that happened because of the shows and
Hmm.
shit like that, it leads me to just believe that eventually this is gonna end up on another one of those types of media again. And once this all gets figured out, I mean, rest in peace to all the victims, of course. That's a terrible situation, and it's for Chicago to always have been known, at least in one way, shape, or form, as like the murder capital.
Yeah, I mean they had their own serial killer, John Gacy, John
Yeah,
Wayne Gacy. Yeah, they had
so
him.
it's
So
just it still sucks even more so that you're living up to
yeah,
that
Chicago's
name
tough.
or that phrase. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they tough. So I don't know. I think the last guy, I think he was coming from like a concert, I
Mm.
believe. I'm just wondering how is everyone ending up? This is close to, over a dozen
I can
bodies.
tell you as a parent, it makes you fearful about letting your kids go anywhere. And that type of shit would ruin your relationship with your children. But there's scary people outside.
Yeah, I mean these people are in their 20s and stuff, but like I think we still have to reinforce because we
Safety.
have our Gen Zs that they think they're immortal.
Immortal.
So
And I mean, to be fair, I thought I was that way as well. Everybody thinks that you're that way when you're like a younger. You know what I mean? You're
mhm.
immortal in one way, shape, or form. You're really not. You're squishy. You are made of soft, squishy insides.
We need to get back to don't talk to strangers and stuff. We got
Word.
older and we were like, oh, that doesn't apply to me because now like my
Word.
frontal lobe has grown and I should
I should be
be
able
able
to
to detect.
discern and detect and
Hmm.
shit like that. But no, some people, you know what I mean? It's nice to have your little circle of group and stay with your circle of groups. Be away, you know. Some people suck. Humans suck at times.
You know what? The former CIA, they were like, they said, I always say it's a homicide first, so I never lose that chance. We should always look at it like that first
Uh,
instead of suicide because some of them
I
say
like
suicide.
that because it gives at least some bit of motive for the police to like do their job. You
Yeah,
know what
let's
I mean?
dive deeper because this is 20 bodies. So, like, y'all ain't got nobody who's willing to, y'all need multiple
It's gotta
people
be
on
heartbreaking.
this.
That's gotta be just
Yeah.
heartbreaking. Because I mean, again, with the shows and stuff that we just recently watched, I mean, worldwide for everybody, right? It's like for there to be so many police mishaps and mistakes and oversights and shit like
It's because
that.
you run across, well, this hasn't happened before or this haven't happened in a long time. Yeah, we haven't had serial killers in a long time. It's like,
Right.
like, what, the 80s?
That doesn't make
So it's like,
the
oh,
chance not zero.
yeah, I think they're like, oh, they're eradicated in a sense.
Right.
So it's like there's no more serial killers because we have all this DNA and technology. You don't know what
No.
somebody's thinking.
Human nature is human nature. Some
Yeah.
people are like that, are just ugly on the inside, and we have to always remember that, at least
Hmm.
to some degree. You can't live in fear, but at least be aware of it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I think that's smart.
So hopefully they start kind of taking this serious.
Yeah.
If they're not already, I can't speak, but I know the CIA agent was like, they were kind of diving deep when the police were saying that, oh no, it's not a pattern. Patterns change. We saw that with like the Zodiac killer.
Yeah.
So the patterns don't have to always match.
Yeah.
We noticed that when it wasn't, it's usually white male. Then you see a black serial killer. You see women.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah. All right.
There are those anomalies.
This is the one I've been wanting to talk about. This happened last Saturday,
Mm.
August 5th. There's about to be a national holiday. The Alabama Riverfront Brawl.
uh, Birmingham Brawl.
So we know from the footage that
Yes.
it was a black like
Security
security
guard.
guard. He was trying to untie one of the boats.
Well, basically, he was telling a family to move
Yeah.
because there was a casino boat that was on the way that was going to
Yeah,
dock
they were
in that
gonna.
spot.
Yeah, they were in
Yes.
the way,
Hmm.
and then all of a sudden you see like the guy kind of confronting,
It's his father.
and then all of a sudden a whole bunch of white men, white
Hmm.
people, because it was a family, because I saw a woman in there too,
Yeah.
started jumping on that black man,
Yeah.
and then the homies came.
Uh,
The homies came.
I want to be able to just point out the Bobby Schmurder hat throw the security guard did, like to get ready for the fight.
I
It was brilliant. Chef Kiss, amazing to me. He like squared up and was like, "Fuck this hat," and threw it
okay.
up like Bobby
Fuck this
Schmurder.
job, okay? Because and I don't care what nobody say. I don't care if y'all like, oh, it's not racially. No, it was. It
That
was
was,
one black man with all these white people. I don't care what nobody say.
and to be fair, like I don't feel bad for the group that started this altercation with the activity, but you are also in a majority black town, Birmingham.
Yeah,
That's majority.
it was the front line for civil rights
You got to
movement.
know where you stepping into, fam. Like, you know what I mean?
And then when it was a teenager in the water, which I thought was fake on the video, he was swimming.
Yeah, but they
Somebody,
call his ass Barnacle Boy.
I heard somebody call him Aquaman. Aquaman. Whoever, shout out to that teenager.
Aquaman.
That's what we need to be doing as a unit. When we see one of us getting jumped, we're not watching. He swam and then he got in there. He got in there.
Took off his shoes because he was waterlogged and still got busy.
Yep.
Also, I want to be able to give the MVP award.
To the father with the chair.
Chair Mageddon, as I like to call him. Yes.
That guy, he WWE'd their ass with the damn chair. I said, where the chair come from? Where y'all get that from? The riverboat?
Bing.
Where the chair come from? They got so many memes. Somebody got a gold chain with a chair on it now, a foldable chair.
It's so good.
There's a meme where it's a white chair and it says, the chair, I was just minding my own business. And then all of a sudden.
Yes, and there was one I saw that was like, hey, it was like freezing him in like mid frame. It was like, hey, you probably wonder how I got here. And
you know, it's all because of that whole. And you know what? You ever heard that it was that song that one of those country singers did, and he was like, "Try that in the small town." Yeah, we tried it.
Yeah,
y'all tried
the
it.
Most that's a most recent. It's a country song.
Yeah,
that the most recent came out. It's like super racist.
Yeah,
or whatever. I've heard news about it, and
don't say it's not. It is.
We definitely did, and you saw what happened. They got the foots and the
they
hands,
you got your ass
and the paws and the chairs.
I'm that type of bitch. Don't even think about saying nothing racist. Don't even try. It looked very racial led.
It gave so much credence to like the Boondocks cartoon fight where it was like all you need is to throw a chair into the mix and shit get going.
I said, and those, you know what, that whole scene was like older people, and then older black men and women was getting down.
They was getting down.
They said we don't play that. They was getting down.
It just gives me faith that I know that as I get older, as long as I take care of what I need to take care of with the body and the squishiness,
yep,
we gonna be all right. Try it if you want to.
You know, some people say that the incident so the incident happened hours after Trump had his supporters there in Montgomery for a Republican summer dinner. So who knows if some of them people that was getting hype over there.
Oh, the plot gets thicker.
And then they walked, then they were still in hype.
Yeah.
Trump then, he let them down the wrong path, making it feel like they were about to do something. And you jumped my friend and you got your ass whooped.
Yo, there was so much camaraderie that I was seeing online. Just I love being black. Just how everybody came together. It's like we just ain't gonna let you do that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And all of that totally warranted. First off,
it sure was.
That's
self-defense. Nobody say.
Free everybody if anybody got taken up. You know what I'm saying?
I want to go to jail free. I'm like, handcuff me.
Everybody on that one.
Handcuff me. I saw a security, or it was a police. They were arresting this white guy, and this like lady came by. She was like, I don't know, she's trying to like stop the man from like arresting him, and he just pushed her. She fell and stuff. I'm like, don't get dramatic. Don't get dramatic.
There was one of the white girls that was part of the family like did a running punch, and she made connection, but like dude ate it, and like beam, like just violent, and she fell to the ground, and I have not laughed so hard in a very long time. But I mean, man, it felt good.
There was a picture of the whole family. They was like, y'all want to try that shit again? I hope y'all had a
Never going back to Birmingham.
long, frustrated night, weekend in jail.
Man.
And I hope y'all got your ass beat in the jail too.
We're free the homies. Free them all. Y'all all like did y'all civil duty.
They did they big one.
Yeah.
Especially the man with the chair, it was a teenager by himself, jumped that boat.
Man,
and he swam.
That dude need an endorsement from somebody.
Yep, somebody.
Somebody need to give him a wave swimming cap or something. Need to be sold in the store. Some shit
you
for
know
real.
some BS. I love Sean King. He posted the video on his Instagram, and then Instagram want to play talking about it looked like bullying or something. I said, y'all so dumb. I'm so tired of Instagram with that bullshit.
That's always going to be a thing with certain social media and stuff like that. One reason why I don't have it, because I'm a true proponent of free speech in a lot of ways, but I'm also a proponent of no matter what you say, be ready for the consequence behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And no matter what you do, be ready for the consequence behind it. So that's fucked up. I think that's bullshit. And this whole ordeal in itself was a supreme example of fuck around and find out.
Fuck around and find out.
It was a supreme example of fuck around and find out.
If you want to.
For sure.
I don't have any more on my end with it, but I know you had a couple things you wanted to talk about.
Okay, so I wanted to get your thoughts. It kind of ties into each other in particular, but there was a small investigation, and I say small because it was a small archaeological team recently that discovered there is a very large, incredibly large city that was in the state of Ohio that belonged to Native Americans, and this predates a lot of other cities and other things like before Jesus.
It's like one of the oldest in
super
the United
old.
States.
Like oldest in the United States. They found over 33,000 artifacts that point this to date, where like there are artifacts of like warriors riding dinosaurs. There are artifacts. Yes. So humans, not like Neanderthals or cavemen or humans riding dinosaurs. Depictions of all these different types of animals that should not have existed with humans around the same time. And a lot of this evidence has now been gathered up and shipped off to the Smithsonian and marked as fraud and invalid.
Why? Because it's Native American, and y'all can't.
I think it's because it's opening eyes to the possibility that we are wrong about human history, and most people who have had careers made off of like telling human history and presenting it a certain way would be labeled as fraudulent.
Because when we learned in kindergarten, dinosaurs are here before anybody. Then they went extinct because of the Ice Age, and then we came around. And I never liked that because I'm a Christian, and God created the heavens and the earth, and then He created man. And I'm like, where the damn dinosaurs at? So I was like, I always felt like we was riding around with the dinosaurs. We found a way to hibernate.
You have always said that to me.
The dinosaurs, then they died off. We was flying with the pterodactyls and all that stuff. I knew it.
The thing being that is the big kicker for me is that there was a treaty that has been made and this was back, the treaty basically states that it was like in 94, that any archaeological finds that pertain to Native Americans, right, upon request should be given, no matter if it's government funded or not, should be given back to the tribe. That's a treaty.
Yeah.
In small little quotes, so at the bottom, the fine print, it excludes the Smithsonian. It excludes anything from the Smithsonian.
Yeah, they're not getting nothing.
So why would they want to hide all these different archaeological findings that points and predates human beings way further than we expected?
You gotta rewrite books.
This is like I gotta rewrite Bible stuffs. I gotta like this is core structural, fundamental, like foundational things for certain human beings.
Yeah,
it could collapse type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Just tell the truth.
I have to question everything now.
Tell the truth.
And if you want to be in control of a lot of stuff, this is where we get into like conspiracy corner type of situations, right? If you want to control that type of stuff, you hide that stuff. Anything that is evidence that can prove that, oh shit, we are way further than that. I mean, JWST, the telescope that we launched,
Mm-hmm.
James Webb, just discovered that there are galaxies that predate the number we gave the Big Bang,
Yeah.
13.6. It's now like 27 point something.
You can't even think that far back. They just made up that number.
So like,
So
and then we're getting that information because of light red shifting, and getting certain types of light. Infrared light means that that's as far as it is and as far as it's going, and in time relation. So like, what we're looking at, especially within the last like few years, with Göbekli Tepe or whatever it's called, like, we are wrong about a lot of the historical findings and a lot of
yeah,
history and a lot of stuff that we have said and we've learned. And it's good to be um asking questions.
I think what we didn't see back in the 90s and early 2000s that we're seeing now is that they're forced to be more transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, why is it every day when I look at something, the James Webb, like
Yeah.
it's like finding something new, or like we're finding something. They are forced now to be more transparent.
I think science is bringing a lot to the table, and
Yeah.
a lot of people are going to do these types of things and going like, hey, this isn't real. Like, this is, or what we've been taught is wrong, and we should go back and start looking and researching a lot more. And I respect it and I love it. And running into the conspiracy corner thing,
Mm-hmm.
one more thing for you. Seeing as how Oppenheimer was just recently released and it's been blowing
I
up
can't
the
wait
movie
to see
theaters
it.
around, I'm excited too. There is a running theory that has been going around lately
A
as far as
theory.
trending, yes. And just giving it just a tiny bit of thought. We really didn't have any alien experiences until after Oppenheimer set off the nuclear bomb. Does that say anything?
That they felt it and they said, hold on, what's going on over there? What y'all barbecuing?
Like, immediately after, maybe a week or two after the nuclear bomb was set off, Roswell happened. Like, that's
Okay.
scary bits of timing.
So that they just came over. They said, "Home, we didn't know
Like,
y'all was
we
over
made like
here."
some type of wave to catch somebody's attention.
Yeah.
You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
That makes sense.
I think, and I'm not one to like always go down the rabbit hole. I believe a lot of things that I either research in depth or experience on my own. I don't believe a lot of other shit, right? I think we got a lot of explaining to do. And when I say we, I mean everybody who is like
The
in
government.
charge up top, the
Mm-hmm.
government, I mean world government at this point.
Man,
You know what
all
I'm
you
saying?
gotta do is watch double feature on American Horror Story. I was like,
You did mention that.
that. Yeah, I
Yes.
said, yeah, that makes sense. And y'all need to apologize to all them people who said they got abducted. They
Oh,
got abducted.
oh, big
They
facts.
got abducted.
We already, it's interesting that we're getting all these new like declassified documents and da 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 da, when now we're shooting off really super high tech satellites into space and learning about like human origin and time origin and universe origin. When you have that information, and now you're finding things in archaeological digs that may have portrayed humans with dinosaurs, Egyptians with fucking light bulbs.
Man, we was doing it. We
You know
was
what I
flying in the
mean?
air and stuff. We had a lifesaver.
Like, the lightsaber is fucking great. Nikola Tesla and his designs and things that are all locked up and can't be used or can't be researched. Like, what is really going on at the end of the day?
And I also feel like whoever's at the top,
Yeah.
they can have direct communication with aliens. Like, not say tell there's
Oh,
a
1000%.
telephone, but there's something they're like, hey friend, can we talk real
You
quick?
want to get really into it just for a second for the pod? You want to get really into it? Okay. My thought is we have already got like council members or
Yeah.
people
Mm-hmm.
inside
Absolutely.
already who are like, yeah, don't worry about it. You guys will be ready soon, or this is the tech you guys can use now. Like, they're
Here's some people you guys can abduct, and then you guys give us some people. It's
right
exchange.
agreements and shit. Man, go watch that American Horror Story episode that you
Double
keep
feature.
referencing, because it's great. That
Yeah.
whole season is great, and it can give you a little insight on some things. And research aside, I am not freaked out by all the stuff that comes out, but it's a little bit of like vindication personally, because when you feel something is real, aliens being real, or like a lot of human history being rewritten and things, and you've been the one saying it and everybody else is telling you are false and you're wrong and you look like the crazy person.
Mm-hmm.
It feels good to feel vindicated and be like, aha.
It's like the dad off of Independence Day.
Man.
Yeah. He's like, I told you guys I've been,
Yes.
you know, and then I think what scares people is that the structure is breaking and that, okay, well, what about God? Aliens.
Yes, yes.
So that's another topic for another day, but that could really fuck with somebody's
Like
head.
I said, fundamental, foundational things at a core for human beings are broken with a lot of this knowledge and a lot of these discoveries.
Yeah.
And if we're not getting answers, that leads to more questions, and that could lead to frustration. And when frustration comes, that's when niggas, storm the Capitol.
Not the niggas. Not the niggas.
You know what I'm saying? I say motherfuckers. Okay. I say motherfuckers. Let's keep that real. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers that do Birmingham type shit.
and fuck around and find out.
And fuck around and find out if you want to.
Do you have any last words of wisdom before we get out?
No, I don't really think I do. Watch the skies, man, because you know what? They lied to us.
I'm gonna be the next one abducted. I'm gonna tell you my experience. I hope y'all believe me. I really do.
You look so sad.
You know, I don't mind as long as you bring me back and I don't have no extra
Don't
limbs.
be changed, bro. I don't want no annihilation type shit, though. Come back changed.
I don't know what they got planned for me, but
I don't want that.
Anyways, remember, you guys, we drop our new episode every Friday, audio wise, and our visual come on YouTube every Sunday. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
That was fun.